Hello and good morning from where you're listening from. It's my hope and prayer God has kept you in good health and faith. I thank God for my today's sermon, which is on mentorship, because it coincides with my tomorrow's visit at Neema Children's Home to donate reading books out of the Noble course, which was Books for Course that ran on Changa platform, and would like to really thank each and every person who willingly gave. I assure you that it's not in vain, and I pray that the Lord who sees in secret will reward you in the open. Books for Cause is a form of mentorship, for I believe in the saying, knowledge is power, and there is no greater way of doing so other than providing the resources necessary to enable it. I also would like to take this opportunity to welcome you to watch the event live on my Facebook page this Sunday as from 2 p.m. Now, on today's sermon, which is titled Need to Mentor, I'll take you through examples of people who are mentored good in the Bible and the results, and also those who are not that goodly mentored good and the result also. And to start off, allow me to read Matthew chapter 10 verses 24 to 25. It says, "A student is not above his teacher, nor a servant above his master. It is enough for the student to be like his teacher and the servant like his master. If the head of the house has been called Beelzebub, how much more the members of his household?" This was Jesus telling his disciples, and here he clearly puts it that no servant is higher than his or her boss. They can be equal but never higher than the teacher. He then commissions them to go, preach, baptize, and heal, just as he did. He was confident he had mentored them well. This is one example of need to mentor. Another example is that of Moses and Joshua. We read that Moses, took Joshua with him everywhere he went to mentor him, and he commissions him to lead the people. As we read in Deuteronomy chapter 31 verses 7 to 8, it says, "Then Moses summoned Joshua and said to him in the presence of all Israel, 'Be strong and courageous, for you must go with these people into the land that the Lord swore to their forefathers to give them, and you must divide it among them as their inheritance. The Lord himself goes before you and will be with you. He will never leave you nor forsake you. Do not be afraid, do not be discouraged.'" And later on, God approves it. And it's in Joshua chapter 1 verses 1 to 2, which says, "After the death of Moses, the servant of the Lord said to Joshua, son of Nun, Moses' aide, 'Moses, my servant, is dead. Now then, you and all these people get ready to cross the Jordan River into the land I am about to give to them, to the Israelites.'" There are other examples, like there is this one of Eli and Samuel that is found in 1 Samuel 3, in that if it were not for Eli's mentorship to Samuel and Samuel's obedience in listening, he could never have knew it's God calling him. David and Solomon is another example. Since David was certain and had made it clear to Prophet Naaman and his wife Bathsheba that Solomon was to succeed him, and gives him command as to what to do and to remember the mentorship he provided during his upbringing, you see. And the result in this and all the others that we've said above, they are all positive. Like for Solomon, he was able to build the temple for the Lord. He also killed Joab and those revolts, just as his father had commanded him before he died. My best example is found in Jeremiah 35, story of the Rechabites who refused to drink wine because their forefathers' upbringing and warning on the same. And God tells Jeremiah that never will any of their descendants miss in paradise. Last but not least is that of Timothy, who served as an assistant to Paul, who was by Paul's side through thick and thin, even when everyone deserted him, as he writes in his epistles. Uh, Most of his epistles, Timothy is the one aiding in writing, and there's even some that are dedicated to him. Paul writes to Timothy, like 1st and 2nd Timothy. And allow me to read verses from 2nd Timothy chapter 1, verses 5 to 7. But what caught my eye is verse 2 also, where Paul addresses Timothy as my dear son. And in verses 5 to 7, it says this: I have been reminded of your sincere faith, which first lived in your grandmother Lois and in your mother Eunice, and I am persuaded now lives in you also. For this reason, I remind you to fan into flame the gift of God, which is in you through the laying on of my hands. For God did not give us a spirit of timidity, but a spirit of power, of love, and of self-discipline. Reading that verse, it shows you that these people knew each other, because even it has been transferred from the mother, the grandmother. He laid his hands. It's a journey they walked together. And Paul is encouraging him. You see, remember the faith, not a spirit of fear and timidity. And it makes him be strong in faith. There are many other examples that I would have liked to tell you, like that of Baruch, who was Jeremiah's scribe, Stephen, Eliezer, who was Abraham's servant, but that I save it for another day, God willing. Also, there were those who failed due to not being mentored. Example is Saul, who was chosen because of height, and he himself hid, even though the Lord had fallen on him. And also the prophet Samuel had made it clear that he was the chosen one. He was new to this and he was never mentored, so he had. The other is Rehoboam, the son to Solomon, who succeeded him as king. We read in 1 Kings 12 of that story. It was because he ignored the elders' advice and took that of his peers that led to Israel being divided. You see, he lacked mentorship or wasn't a good learner like his father. Elisha's servant is another example, where he sought after Naaman and deceives him in order to obtain treasures which his master Elisha had refused earlier, claiming his master had changed his mind, which was a lie, and as a result, Naaman's leprosy is transferred to him. Now, what is the bottom line in my today's podcast? Need for mentorship. 1. Identify your role model, that person who inspires you to be better, and learn the good that makes you feel inspired by him or her. But as you do so, always remember to be you, because there is only one you, one and only you alone. Everyone else is taken. That has been my sermon, and a special request is, if you like me to pray or have a request, my WhatsApp number is 0796 207 104. If you like to support by giving, my M-Pesa till number is 530 5141. A reminder, tomorrow, tune in on my Facebook page. Link is below the podcast from 2 p.m. Thank you and God bless you.